Good morning. I lied. I'm back here again to share once again two links, and I'll leave in the descriptions to this video under more. One to my Substack and another to the platform itself, and it costs nothing to subscribe, and there is a wealth of information on there to other bloggers and knowledge from all over the world. From politics to gardening, animal welfare, virtually any subject that you desire. Now, I'm reading this for the second time, and this book is probably the most important one I've ever read, actually, because it tells a story in 20 essays with over 1,000 links and written over 15 years about how the world really works and why we are where we are today. And make no mistake, the world is a very dark place at this moment, especially in Europe. Now, I strongly believe in free speech, so much so that I will defend it with a passion that may even deprive me of my freedom. It really is that important, to me at least. And authoritarianism isn't for me, and neither should it be for those of us who have any sense of freedom. And make no mistake, our current government is hell-bent on controlling everything, including how you think, what you say, where you go, and how long you stay there. And the prison walls are closing in while you play games. Watch mind-boggling, boring game shows and binge watch inane movies on Netflix. And please stand against it while you still can. This is not Soviet Russia, North Korea or China. It's England, this once green and pleasant land that you inherited from your parents and their parents before them. All the hardship, wars and famine our ancestors suffered to make this land ours today. All the while politicians gradually squandered it with all their ideology and inflated egos. Did we really come this far just to give up with a whimper and say nothing? Are we men and women, or are we just mice? Is that a few squeaks I hear in the background? Or just the closing of the door with a rusty hinge as you walk away? According to my statistics, I have 4 followers on Substack, and I shared it with over 50 people. Shame. And the apathy of everyone makes me want to give up. But I won't. Giving up isn't in my nature. It never was, and it never will be. Just ask my long-suffering friend who endures my daily rants. You live in a country, any country, it doesn't matter, all of your life, loving her, cherishing her, holding her. She's yours. Not as a possession, but a belonging. She belongs to you, having been one in the blood of your ancestors, whose blood soaks her earth, her stones, and her shores. You belong to her, having been born between her hills and her forests. You shall not die unless she dies, and she will not die unless you allow shallow politicians like Starmer to take her from you. The country I grew up in has all but disappeared, but I remain confident that the common sense will prevail in the end. Maybe not in my lifetime, because we have to go through this madness to realise the sanity we once had. And here's a little quote from someone who knew quite a lot about England. And I quote, "England, bound in with a triumph at sea, whose rocky shores beat back the envious siege of watery Neptune, is now bound in with shame, with inky blots and rotten parchment bonds. That England that was wont to conquer others has made a shameful conquest of itself. That enemy of any great civilization, excessive bureaucracy, has now led to England's downfall. Those inky blots and rotten parchment bonds used to sign England away are trivial and transient compared with the stable and constant rocky shore that has protected England for centuries. And yet, those inky blots have succeeded where invading armies very often failed. England is not yet finished, but the England we knew has been destroyed and conquered, not by some foreign army, but by itself, from within. Look no further than modern politicians, not one statesman among them. And one word can describe these awful people in today's world: globalists, led by people like Tony Blair and his evil disciples. Thanks for listening to this. My next video on here will will be about what happened in 2020 and why I had 25 reasons not to conform. If you're interested, tune in, because it's very, very interesting, especially what's happened just recently in Wuhan, in China. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.